We are almost live here. Hold on. It says 8 out of 15. I'm just going to refresh the chat here. It should be live. Let's see. I did do a check this morning. It looked like we had good bandwidth. So let me know how it looks for all of you guys. I don't know what happened to my necklace. It might be in my bathroom, actually. Hey, J-Man, what's up, buddy? Hello. Let's fix this. It's on the wrong one, of course. XSplit is just freaking out and can't seem to get anything right. Okay, so I'd like to make that bigger. Control plus. Yes. My what's wrong? Yeah, it was his grandmother that I saw that later. Yeah, thank you. She was the devout Catholic, right? I didn't read that sentence all the way through until the second time. Oh. After coffee. I got disgusted when I saw devout Catholic. I looked away. It's funny. My mom and I are just talking about an article that we were reading earlier. And I found an article this morning that I thought was interesting, and I want to share it with you. It's in the Orlando Sentinel, but it's sourced out from the New York Times, which local papers will do that often. They will have a syndicated report come through, which comes from a national paper, and then they send it out to a bunch of other papers because that's the national dialogue. So they send this out to everyone because they want everyone to read this because they're trying to brainwash us. So how are they trying to brainwash you? Hey, man, there's light at the end of the There's light at the end of the tunnel. I wasn't watching them. They may have been playing. And either that or he may have been in his food. They may have been playing and the cat may have bitten him on his leg. Sometimes they do that. Rogi's putting more weight on that foot. But he's still lifting it up. Hey, Bronco. So anyway, you guys might see this article. It says Russian troop morale down, but then look at this. At the end, it says U.S. says, and that is a half-page article. That the Rogi, you shouldn't be playing. That's a half-page article on the front page of the world page, not the front page of the paper, but the front page of this section. It's a whole half-page article about what? That Russian troop morale is down, says the United States. So I went through the article, and I wanted you guys to see all the weasel words and the techniques that anyone who's writing a narrative, a state narrative, which is what this is, it's called a state narrative, uses the same type of terminology, the same type of words, the same type of techniques to convince you that what you're reading is actually factual and not opinion. But they always have a hard time because if they're going to be honest and they have to use these weasel words, and you're going to see them in this article. It's really interesting, and there certainly is a lot. You can see all the places where I've made notations and things in there. It's pretty shocking, actually. So let me just go through it with you guys, and you guys tell me what you think, okay? I wish we had more light in here. I don't know why it's so dark. There doesn't seem to be any bright lights. Here, let me turn on this light. Here. That doesn't help at all. Doesn't really make it brighter in here. It does a little bit, actually. Okay. I'll move some of this out of my way. And maybe we'll start with the dab. before we get into this? What do you guys say? Let's do a dab. Ice brought me over some Frankie Fire last night, which is like, it's like Pinoy. It's as good as Pinoy. Frankie Fire is as good as Pinoy stuff. So I did some of that and got obliterated last night. You guys may have been watching the show. Okay, Frankie Fire is on deck. I call him Dank Frank. I call him Frankie Fire. Everybody's got a different name for him. Rogan. What is he doing? That was a weird bark. The heat gun, right? Hey, Bronco, Carol. My ding's on mute. Good to see you. Where you be at? Did you move? I'm at my mom's house in Orlando. I've been out for a bit, but I'm sorry. I'm for the moment. Love. For a bit, but I'm sorry. I'm for the moment. Love. Okay. Okay. Cheers, guys. Frankie Fire in the house. All right. I'm in for the moment. Okay. Intel estimates. There's your first problem right there. Right off the bat, Intel estimates 7,000 soldiers killed in just 3 weeks of fighting. They estimate it. So you don't even know if that's correct, right? So that's the very first lie. That's probably not true. Okay? It says this is from the New York Times, and it's from 3 different people. It says Washington. And it's weird the way the article starts, because I kind of want you guys to see this. I'm going to read it off the page, I think, so I can see it better. Yeah, this will be easier for me to read. In 36 days of fighting on Iwo Jima during World War II, nearly 7,000 Marines were killed. Now, 20 days after President Vladimir Putin of Russia invaded Ukraine, his military has already lost more soldiers, according to U.S. intelligence estimates. Right? Once again, we don't know about that. Right? It's an estimate. The conservative side of the estimate at more than 7,000 Russian troop deaths is greater than the number of U.S. troops killed over 20 years in Iraq and Afghanistan combined. It is a staggering number amassed in just 3 weeks of fighting, U.S. officials say, with implications for the combat effectiveness of Russian units, including soldiers and tank formations. Pentagon officials say a 10% casualty rate, including dead and wounded, for a single unit renders it unable to carry out combat-related tasks. So understand that whole 10% paragraph right there. they're claiming that it's a 10% casualty rate, and that makes it unable to carry out combat-related tasks. That's all bullshit. That's a complete bullshit paragraph right there. Here, let me get this chat off of here. All right, that's complete bullshit. It doesn't even make sense. With more than 150,000 Russian troops involved in the war in Ukraine, Russian casualties, when including the estimated 14,000 to 21,000 injured, are near that level. Okay, so they're not dead. You have to include 35,000 soldiers that are injured into the numbers. Okay, so that's some more bullshit right there. You see how they stack these pieces of straw, guys? And the Russian military has lost at least 3 generals in the fight, according to Ukrainian, NATO, and Russian officials. Now, this is where they start getting really weaselly. Pentagon officials say that a high and rising number of war dead can destroy the will to continue to fighting. Now, that is a very important sentence, guys. And I want you to look at that again. Pentagon officials say that a high and rising number of war dead can destroy the will to continue fighting. The result, they say, has shown up in intelligence reports that senior officials in the Biden administration read every day. One recent report focused on low morale among Russian troops and described soldiers just parking their vehicles and walking off into the woods. Really? Okay. How many? They don't tell you. Funny, right? More weaselly bullshit. It's more fluff, bluster, and straw. And now I want you to remember the title. It says, Russian troop morale down, stated like a fact. That's stated like a fact. But then they have to weasel through and say, well, the U.S. says, right? But then when you get here, then you find out that supposedly this could be bad because the Pentagon officials assume that it could be bad. But let's keep going here. Okay. The result, they say, has shown up in intelligence. Okay, we already read all this. So the U.S. officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity. Now, think about that. Well, they're so sure of themselves. Why are they not telling you who they're talking to? Funny, right? More weaselly bullshit. Did they even talk to U.S. officials? Maybe not. Maybe they just made that up. Caution that their numbers of Russian troop deaths are inexact. And they don't want to tell you who they are, but they're telling you that the United States is giving you false information. That's why they don't want to tell you what their name is. By the way, these numbers are false. Okay. Compiled through analysis of the news media. That's a good one, right? So they're trusting the news media to tell them how many Russian troops are dying. Ukrainian figures, which tend to be high, they're admitting it right there. So they're claiming right there, right off that their data tends to be inaccurate and lies. And they also are getting Russian figures, which tend to be low, and they're down to and it says they've lost 500 people, but that tends to be low. Tends to be, with nothing to back up that statement either. Oh, and also satellite imagery and careful perusal. They're perusing carefully satellite imagery of video images of Russian tanks and troops that come under fire. So, they carefully peruse that, and they counted up all of these deaths supposedly, right? Without seeing any bodies at all. U.S. military and intelligence officials know, for instance, how many troops are usually in a tank and can extrapolate. That's a great word, right? That means they can guess based on what the little facts that they have from that, the number of casualties when an armored vehicle is hit by, say, Javelin anti-tank missile. The high rate of casualties goes far to explain why Russian troops have remained largely stalled outside. See this? The high rate of casualties. Wait. Whoa. The high rate of casualties. I don't understand that. You just said in all of this that these were all guesses and not accurate and whatever. But now you're talking about this high rate of casualties like it's factual all this. Isn't that funny? It goes far to explain why Russian troops have remained largely stalled outside Kyiv, Ukraine's capital. Really? Is that it? Is that why? The high rate of casualties, that's why they've stalled? That's a complete guess, and it's a lie, And it's hilarious. It's another piece of straw. This is not factually based at all. Hey, Merc. Losses like this affect morale and unit cohesion, especially since these soldiers don't understand why they're fighting, said a Pentagon official, right? That's what Evelyn says. So she knows the Russians don't know why they're fighting. More narrative, more straw. Your overall, what's funny is the top Pentagon official for Russia and Ukraine during the Obama administration. Do you see how they worded that? They word it first, they say the top Pentagon official. And then they let you know, oh, by the way, that is no longer working this is just some lady that used to be in the government with an opinion, and they're using her. And the way they're wording this, it doesn't say, I love how it says former Pentagon official Evelyn Farkas. It says Evelyn Farkas, the top Pentagon official. And you have to keep reading because you'll miss this. This is why they word it this way. For Russia and Ukraine, during the Obama administration. How many years ago was that? Oh, okay. Is that your professional opinion? Okay. Now she speaks like she knows. Your overall situational awareness decreases. Those are some big words. Someone's got to drive. Someone's got to shoot. Oh, Evelyn, you're so cool. Someone's got to drive. Someone's got to shoot. Please. It's hilarious. With Russian ground forces in disarray, this is more supposition, guys. Just whatever. Putin has increasingly looked to the skies to attack Ukrainian cities, residential buildings, hospitals, and even schools. Now, that's kind of interesting. So is that why that he's destroying shit and wrecking shit? Is that why? Is it because his forces are in disarray? Or is it because he watches what mainstream media and the world says about him, and he responds? And he sees that people talk shit about him, and he gets mad, and he says, hey, you know what? Let's start blowing up schools and hospitals because fuck the media. Could that be it? I don't know. But, you don't know either. So it's funny how this is stated as another fact. See, so they guess that because the ground forces are in disarray, he's increasingly looked to the skies to attack. Oh, that's hilarious. No basis for this whatsoever. And let's talk about hospitals and schools from aerial bombardment. Does that sound familiar? You guys remember Doctors Without Borders getting bombed from the United States? Remember, I think it was 38 people were killed in that hospital. Remember that? It's funny, right? But we'll keep moving. America's done the same thing. It's helped camouflage the Russian military's poor performance on the ground. President Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine said this week that an estimated 1,300 Ukrainian soldiers had been killed in the war. So they're losing almost as many as they're claiming Russians. So that's like almost 4,000 Ukrainians, and that's in just a week. 4,000 Ukrainians, in the 3 weeks. So, they say that they're not honest about their numbers either. Hilarious. But that's what he says. Signs of Russia's challenges abound. Really? Okay. Late last week, Russian news sources reported that Putin had put two of his top intelligence officials under house arrest. This is all straw manning. The officials who run the Fifth Service of Russia's main intelligence service, the FSB, were interrogated for providing poor intelligence before the invasion, according to Andrei Soldatov, a Russian security services expert. So we don't know who Andrei Soldatov is, and this person might not work for Putin at all. And so this is just another person with a Russian name who's probably an American who's just giving you information, and their name is there so you can think that this is valid. We don't know who Andrei Soldatov is, and he's probably an American pundit. It says a Russian security services expert. Okay, so this could all be bullshit too. They told Putin what he wanted to hear about how the invasion would progress. Really? Oh, but you're probably not even in Russia, and you're just making that up. Okay, all right. It's crazy, right? Now, look, I got this whole paragraph marked off for you guys. You're going to think this is interesting, I think. Russians may be hearing only what Putin wants them to hear about his operation in Ukraine, which he refuses to call a war or an invasion. Let me just stop right there. I'm just kind of curious. Do you guys remember what we called the war in Iraq? Do you guys remember when after 9/11 and then it was Osama bin Laden and Saudi Arabia that attacked us? So what did we do? George Bush decided to go in and attack Iraq and create basically a never-ending war to make money. Right? What did we call that? What was the war in Iraq referred to on all media? Chat. What was the war in Iraq called? Did we call it a war or did we call it an operation? Did we call it a war or did we call it an operation? When we killed 1 million Iraqis in Iraq on Iraqi soil with American weapons and American bombs and American soldiers and American pilots and American drones, what did we call that war in Iraq? Did we call it the war in Iraq? What did we call it, chat, after 9/11? What did we call that? Operation what? No, it was not Operation Iraqi Freedom. Come on, guys. It wasn't called a war, and it was called an operation. You got the operation right. What was it called? Oh, God. You guys, really? Really? There's 13 of you, man. Someone here's got to know. Come on, guys. Okay. After 9/11, after Osama bin Laden and what was it, 21 Saudi Arabian nationals got on planes and wrecked them into the World Trade Center. No, it was not Operation Iraqi Freedom. Jesus fucking Christ. Come on. It wasn't 2003, guys. We didn't wait that long to go to war. What did we do? Right after 9/11, what did we do? In Iraq, I'll give you a hint. There was going to be shock and awe. Shock and awe. You guys remember that? You guys remember shock and awe? Come on, you guys. Right after we got hit, well, how did we respond? What operation did we commence after Osama bin Laden crashed 2 jetliners and brought down the World Trade Center buildings? It was 2001, right? Huh. Oh, Wait, it was Iraqi freedom, right? It wasn't. We waited that long, 2 years. Oh, it's my bad. It was. It was a Operation Big Merc. It was Operation Iraq Freedom, 2003.
May I have it for that?
No, so which was our response. Saddam Hussein moved into Kuwait. The point is still valid. What do we call shock? Bro, my internet's not working right now. I'm in I'm trying to pull up websites. That's why it's sorry. Hold on. We interrupt 11. 8 years. Operation Iraqi Freedom. Every time I look away, it does this. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. That helps. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to help. Here. I had the name. I'm so old, bro. I thought Operation Desert Storm. Oh my God. Because I was thinking of Desert. And then there was Desert Shield. There was Desert Shield. And there was Desert Storm. And I thought it wasn't Desert Shield. It was Desert Storm. I was wrong. It was Iraqi Freedom. Desert Storm was back in Operation Iraqi Freedom. Man, Baghdad fell in 5 weeks after we invaded it, and yet we made that war last for 8 years. Thanks, Ajrana. I appreciate that. Or AJ videos back then. Yeah, well, we stopped calling it we a long time ago, that's for sure. Wow. Says Putin refuses to call his war a war and instead insists on calling it an operation. And what did we call Operation Iraqi Freedom? Operation. That's what we called the Iraqi war. We called it Iraqi Freedom. He had a good teacher, man, right? But I digress. Let's keep going here. So anyway, it goes on to say here, since it began, it's exerted iron control over the news, minimize the destruction. Kind of sounds like the way MSM here, American media, doesn't cover Syria, or Yemen, or any of the other places that America is bombing. Isn't that funny? State media. It's crazy. But once again, pieces of straw, guys. But some Russians have access to virtual private networks or VPNs and are able to get news from the West. Yeah, because, the West is telling nothing but the truth, whatever. The news of the general's death is trickling out, first from Ukrainians and confirmed by NATO officials, with one death acknowledged by Putin in a speech. 2 U.S. military officials said many Russian generals are talking on uncensored phones and radios and attacked his location, killing him and his staff. If Russian military deaths continue to rise, the kinds of civic organizations that called attention to troop deaths and injuries during the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan could once more come to prominence. Okay, that doesn't even apply in this article. So the people who report on the deaths could once more come to prominence. Okay. It is stunning, and the Russians haven't even gotten to the worst of it. When they hit urban combat in the cities, I'm a member of the House Armed Services Intelligence Committees. They haven't even hit the worst of it when they hit urban combat in the cities. Okay. More bullshit pieces of straw. Okay, that's what you say, says that dude. I don't think it'll have an impact on Putin's calculus. Okay, do you understand this right here? This. I don't think it'll have an impact on Putin's calculus. So it says here, Russian troop morale down. Then you go through all this bullshit, blah, 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 to get to this. I don't think it'll have an impact. But read this whole article and feel like you're somehow winning, losing. But that I don't think it'll have an impact on Putin's calculus. He's not willing to lose. He's been backed into a corner and will continue to throw troops. Problem. It really Look at all the writing. Let me give. Thank you for being patient. Okay. Let me close this page here. Why? See, StreamYard doesn't tell me whether or not I've got a good broadcast or not. You guys, it seems like family business to you. You know, it really is. They're all in cahoots with each other. The weirdest thing is it's almost as if the Biden administration is trying. It's almost as if they do just enough to not solve the problem. It's like, and that's what I think it is. They want to appear to the average voter in America that they're doing everything that they can without being evil, like the Bush administration or like the Obama administration. You know, we're doing everything we can. So vote for us next. That's what this is. They're using it as an opportunity to get people to vote for them. And boy, oh boy, a lot of people support this, man. You know, I love it to listen to Lee Camp. You know what he says? He says, I don't support any war at all. I don't support what Putin is doing in Ukraine, and I certainly don't support what NATO has been doing to Russia. You know, I don't support what they did in the Donbass region, what the Ukrainians were doing to the Russians in the Donbass region, where they shelled 14,000, they killed 14,000 people since 2014. Don't support that either. I don't support what's going on in Yemen. I don't support what's going on in Palestine. I don't support what's going on in Syria. I don't support what's going on in the tip of Africa. You know? I like that. That's the kind of rhetoric I want. Not, oh, we support this war. We got to go to war, more war. And if you say, you know, if you say you support the Ukrainians, that's what you're cheering on. More war. And it kind of sucks. You're in a bad position. I would hate to be you. I would hate to be you. You just got to be against all war. And you got to make and if Biden wants to go to war and if Kamala Harris wants to go to war, you need to find somebody to lead you that doesn't want to go to war. That's the only thing you can do. And I don't vote, so I can't help. All I can do is watch and shake my head. And cry like my mom does. And I tell you, it is the saddest thing, man. You know, they will show you what they know they need to show you on TV to get you to win you over. And these talk shows, hey, man, Jimmy Dore destroyed some motherfuckers this morning. And, you know, I don't like Max Blumenthal at all. I think he's a liar. I don't like Jimmy Dore either. I think he's a liar, too. At the same time, I watched a Jimmy Dore episode, man, and they really did a fantastic takedown of what's going on a lot of talk shows and the attacks against Tucker Carlson and Tulsi Gabbard, who I don't like either of them. I don't like those people, but I support their right to have a voice in whatever their opinions might be. And they just kind of called these people out, The View, so blatantly, and it was just so perfect. Jimmy Dore and Max Blumenthal, they did a really good job. You know, I hate it. I hate when they do good. Because then I got to tell you, you know, they did good. They did a good thing. I don't like Max Blumenthal, but he did a good job, man. They nailed Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and the other women that they have on there. Anna Navarro, oh my God, they destroy Anna Navarro. Destroy her. She's such a hypocrite. She's a war hawk, bro. And, you know, Jimmy Dore calls her out so bad. It's ugly. It's like ugly. Trump doesn't want to go to war. Herb Green, okay, you're a liar and you're an idiot. Trump almost started 2 world wars. I think I'm just going to block you because I don't like you. I don't like you. You're a freaking liar. I don't care what you have to say. And I just hate when liars come in here. Don't come in here telling lies. Okay, so let me just tell everyone else that makes sense in here, because I just blocked Herb Green, but I want everyone else in here to know that Donald Trump almost started a world war with the guy with Kim Jong-un in North Korea. Donald Trump almost started a war with Iran when he sent missiles in there and killed Soleimani, the general. Those were acts. That was an act of war. What he did, he murdered people in another country. And for this cunt to come in here and say what he just said, it's I can't sit here and let someone be around me with that sort of distorted sense of the facts of reality. Donald Trump almost started 2 world wars. It's provably factual. He was messing around with psychos, and he didn't care about you. He didn't care about me. He didn't care about anybody but himself. And for anybody to come in here and say Donald Trump didn't want to go to war is hilarious. Anybody else? Joe Biden is a puppet. I agree. Donald Trump said it himself. If he was still president, he would have talked with Russia's president into stopping the war. But Trump claims Biden doesn't have respect from Russia. Yeah, I don't care about what Trump said. Trump lied 35,000 times as president of the United States. Rana, you're going to sit here and quote Donald Trump like he's a credible source? Don't use Donald Trump as a source on my show ever again. Never, ever again. All right, you're going to be the next one I block. I can't believe these people. Me coming in here and ever bashing the Biden administration is not license for you to spread your love to Donald Trump. I'm not going to take it. You guys are idiots that say that. You're an idiot. And let me just tell you this. Your parents raised an idiot. Makes them idiots too. No one's got anything to say? All right. No law regarding no one's got anything to say. Except for me, I guess. Cheers. Yeah, I'm blocking you, dude. Night. Have a nice life. As I've already said, Donald Trump provably lied 35,000 times as president of the United States. If you're going to come in here and try to, because you're in life, understand that. You can go ahead and support Trump all you want. I don't mind that. You can do that, but you can't do it on my chat. I don't want to hear about it. I know that Biden sucks, but he sucks is equally as bad as Trump does. So you're not going to be able to do any of that with me on here. I can't wait till this fan comes for this router, because I think I'm just going to end the show, guys. I'm going to end the show. Hope you learned something today on here. I hope you learned how to spot this narrative bullshit. Because to me, it's like freaking flashing neon sign. I can't miss it. And I want you guys to be just as aware of that as I am. I want you to see it for exactly what it is. I want you to see the words, US says at the end of that. There you go. Oh, is it what you say? Well, that doesn't mean anything. That's not fact. What you say, that's what you claim. And then when we go through the whole article, there was no facts. It was all just to the end of that article. Doesn't care what the morale of the troops are. He's their commander, and he's a hard bitch, bro. And he expects every single one of those soldiers to be just as hard as him. So he doesn't care. The morale doesn't matter. Like the article says, if you make it to the very end of all those pieces of straw, he's just going to throw more troops at the problem. He'll recruit 13-year-olds. Hashtag keep it open. Hashtag keep it open. That's good. That's good for me. That's good for you. That's good for the show. More of you should partake in that hashtag keep it open movement. Big got it right with the capital. Really makes that hashtag pop, doesn't it? Megsy's trying. She's trying. Good try, Megsy. Outside, watch the sun come up. California, I have a really good understanding of how to set them up here. And it seems as if the roof is actually set up. Mom, solar looked at for your roof?
Oh, you need to get it done. Yeah.
Well,
We took it off.
was it outside of the roof on the
It
back
was
side?
on over here.
Well, I got to tell you, it looks like to me that this whole side of the roof could be that you have to spend the money or do it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, this is set up for it. I mean, I think it is, and we'll find out because the way I know this is when I'm at my house and I'm looking at my solar panels, which are directly behind the home, the sun comes up over here and it's coming up in the same spot that this side of your roof is that it does for my solar panels. Now, I don't know if there's going to be a difference in because we're in a different it's latitude or longitude. Something's different. I'm way higher up.
Right.
So it might be different angles and whatnot.
Right.
But I think, yeah, which is kind of exciting and cool. It would be neat. I mean, you've got the water already. She doesn't need a well. She's got spring water. I got evacuated. At her house, she lives on a channel. It comes through to Clear Lake. It's coming off the mountains, and it's melt from the snow. And she literally has a pump that goes down in that channel, and that's where she gets her house water. Goes through a filter. Yeah. And that's where our water was coming from. And we stayed there for 2 weeks. Staying right here, if you needed water, get right out of that little stream. And the water's basically already clear. I mean, I went to one of the little waterfalls, and I went like that with my hand and looked at it. And I was like, you couldn't see particles. It was just had like a tint to it, which might be clay or something. I'm not sure. I agree, Tom. Thanks, man. I'm having a bad connection. Right? So my cell phone, but it's the show's almost over anyway. So if I got more hashtag keep opens, I might keep the show open longer, but nobody wants to play ball. And if you don't want to play ball, well, then the game might just end, folks. How many hashtag keep it opens can I get out there in the chat? Can I get any? What is that? Oh, that's the antenna. Okay. Nobody wants to play ball. Okay, that's cool. Oh, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Rap all day and keep it open. Everything's fine. Oh, everything's just fine. Everything's just fine. Everything's fine. Dummy, dum. Keep. This is what I do after I end the show. I tell them, here back. You guys know that? Did you guys know that? Means the show's over, man. When I tell them, here back. Oh, big merch. Gonna keep it open. Look at that. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's just fine. A fresh cup of coffee. I think I've had enough coffee this morning. Wait, I don't think I had any coffee this morning. We left that coffee sitting there, didn't we? Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm just going to go out and use the restroom. I too shall use the restroom. I didn't drink any coffee. I totally drink coffee. It was really good. Strong. Setting. It's good, right? It's called Intense. On the Keurig, she had it set for strong minutes to make a cup. And it just drips it through so slow, and it does it. Kafefi. We like you, the Kafefi. Can I get any more hashtag keep it opens? How many more hashtag keep it opens? Okay. You probably can't even see me anymore.